Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of our series of trying to bring Festival Lead to the moon. So I've actually made some modifications to the deck list because in my recent locals where I played against several other players in my local gym in Singapore at Royal Escape, I suffered like 3 losses in a row, and some of the losses were like interestingly for how should I explain it? Like some of the losses came because I couldn't get my Relo and Repska up in a single turn. So like I benched my Relo a little bit a turn too late and I wasn't prepared for it. And then the spread damage came a bit too early to knock out my Relo as well as my Repska. So there was that. So we put back our Forest of Vitality in, and I took out the Rillaboom because I wasn't really facing any Cornerstone Ogre-Pawns on the ladder as well as in real life gym. So Cornerstone Ogre-Pawns wasn't really an issue. So I think the Forest of Vitality is important. The 2 Scrapper is still important to scrap away handheld fans. I did, yeah. So I removed the Rillaboom. What else did I remove? Nothing much. So not a big modification. Just putting in the extra Forest of Vitality, so that in like the mid game, whenever you need our Repska, we can actually, if we have a Relo on the Repska in hand, we can just boom group for one or the other, and we can instantly bench both of them to protect our bench. Because this Spherical Shield is pretty important because it prevents all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to your bench Pokemon. So things that are doing spread damage, such as what you call it. Other than Dragapult, we have stuff like the Hide and Sneak decks where they do spread damage. The what is it? The Sinistcha? I think the Sinistcha does spread damage. And yeah, so the Repska can prevent against that. Obviously we still cannot prevent against Frostlast spread damage because Frostlast and Monkey Dory is ability. So if I want to like protect against Monkey Dory, I will need a Pet Rat, which will take up an additional deck space, which I don't know whether it is worth it, because the parrot doesn't really add anything to the bench. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so let's go to our games. And the first one we have, let me bring it up. So first one we have here is actually at 59 ELO right now. Maybe I will mute this. We are actually going against another Festival Lead mirror match. So he's using an Iono coin, but actually he plays Festival Lead. So in the Festival Lead mirror match, it really depends on who goes first. So in this case, our opponent manages to go first, and in a Festival League mirror match, the player who goes first has an overwhelmingly huge advantage. I would say probably if you're going first, you're probably favored to win like 70-30, 70% to 30%. If you're going first in the Festival League mirror match, so whoever wins the coin toss. But of course, sometimes you can break, and the player that goes second may manage to get a better setup. But usually, assuming that both hands are even, the player who goes first has an overwhelming advantage. So in this case, let's speed up a bit. Yep. So opponent starts with 2 Applins. I start with only 1 Grookey. But he has he has 2 Pokepads. So you can see he sets up 2 Grookeys, 3 Pokepads actually. So already has 2 Applins, 3 Applins. Also has an energy on the lead Applin. And he will need a Diplin as well as Grookey in the follow-up turns. But I get a Buddy Puffin. So I'm debating between whether should I put a Goldeen or a Grookey. I do want to put an attacker, so I put an Applin, but I only have 1 Grookey. Ideally, I want 2 Grookeys, and I'm also debating between putting the Goldeen, because Goldeen will give me Festival Lead in order to trigger my Boom Groove if I can get a Tawaki on turn 2. Yeah, but like I'm debating between that. So in the end, I decided between Goldeen and Applin. But you see that it doesn't really matter that much. So my Pokepad, I'm thinking of what to get. Yep. So I think I decided to get a Tawaki, if I'm not wrong, so that I can Boom Groove on turn 2 for maybe a Lily's Determination. In hindsight, maybe I should have retreated this into an Applin and maybe sacrifice my Applin, because in turn 2, so he gets Tawaki on turn 2. He gets a Lily Determination, which is really, really good hand. Yeah, he really has a good enough hand for turn 2. So turn 2, he gets 8 fresh cards. From there, he gets a Diplin. He gets another Body Perfect Forfeit. He fills their bench. And at this point, I just concede. Because he's gonna Boom Boom Groove for a Stadium, I believe. Okay, he has, yeah, Boom Boom Groove for another Tawaki. And then I believe he Boom Grooves for a Stadium, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So a Stadium, he can Ultra Ball away his Gladion for another Diplin. So he has another backup attacker in the Diplin. And he's going to do the wave for like 100 damage on the first, 100 damage on the second. And that's it. My board is totally wiped. I have no setup. So I just concede. Because the opponent's hand is just too good. So they have like, they're able to set up 3 Applins, 2 Grookis, 3 Applins and 1 Grookie, I believe, on turn 1. And what was it? 3 Applins, 2 Grookies on turn 1. Yeah. 3 Applins and 2 Grookies on turn 1, and they have a Lily's Determination for the second turn. Yeah, for turn 2, they could set up 1 Tawaki from hand and can release for another Diplin, another yeah. Then they have Ultra Balls and all that, and they could Boom Boom Groove for a Stadium. So it is pretty much over. It's like I don't even get to play the game. So that's that. So moving on. So this one is a little bit more interesting. So I'm stuck at 59 elo. Lost my first game of that day, and then now I'm versus a 400 elo player who is playing our Hide and Sneak deck. So let's forward it a little bit. Okay, I managed to get first. So I'm going first. So in my first turn, I'm gonna get yeah, so I already have 1 attacker in my Applin here, which can evolve into a Diplin. And then I will have Godin to trigger Boom Boom Groove. Okay, so I retreat into the Godin, keep my Applin safe, since I already have the Air Balloon. I already have the ultimate turn 2. I have Lily's Determination for turn 2 and Festival Grounds. I just need to Lily's into Tawaki, and we can start Boom Boom Grooving for our Diplin. Then maybe well, I will need another Air Balloon in order to retreat into the Diplin to attack though. Okay, so he sets up his Dhelmise. He gets his Sinistra. Yep, so overall not too bad. So if I look at his discard power, he already has 4 Hide and Sneak Pokemon discarded by turn 1. So in this case, his Dhelmise extra damage is already activated. But the issue is that he couldn't get his Dhelmise into the active spot. Because he did use telepathic energy in order to summon his Dhelmises. So he cannot attach another telepathic energy into the Dhelmise. And because this is turn 1, he cannot get his the Dunsparce evolved in order to retreat the Dunsparce with runaway draw. So he cannot get his Dhelmise into the active. So even though he does discard 4 Hide and Sneak Pokemon on turn 1, he cannot attack. So I will have the advantage here by going turn 1. So I could either attack with my Seeking. There's one option. Definitely I want to get my Tawakis up. So Pokepad for a Tawaki. Then play the Stadium. I Lilies for more cards. Get my Diplins, everything. And here I decided to just pass, I believe. Yep. So I decided to just pass and sacrifice my Seeking. I think I already attached, I already attached energy to my Diplin this turn. Because the alternative could be I attach to Seeking, I could start attacking. But Seeking would do 2 hits to this, though. Yeah, well, that would make me draw cards. But in this case, in this iteration of Festival Lead, where I really want to leverage on the power of Gladions for the extra 80 damage, I really don't want to have a big hand. I actually want to have a small hand size so that I can discard it away with Secret Box and Ultra Balls easily. so I don't want to have too big of a hand size. So I was like really debating between attacking with Seeking or just passing. So in this case, I think I already attached to the Diplin. I'm just attaching the Brave Bangle just to thin my hand, just to use up the cards so that I don't lead them back. So I Boom Boom Groove for another Body Puffin. I believe I set up a Relor. Yeah, Relor to prevent against spread damage because they do have spread damage there. Yep. So I Boom Boom Groove for another Pokepad to prepare for a Rapska. Oh, wait. Oh, I do have an Air Balloon. Yeah. So I do have Air Balloon, then I could attack this turn. Yep. So in this case, he decided to sacrifice his Shuppet, which is a mistake. He should have tanked the hit with his Dhelmise. Yeah, because, well, yeah. He should have tanked the hit with his Dhelmise rather than giving me an extra price card by sacrificing his Shuppet. So now I'm 2 price cards up to his 6. As in, I'm 4 price cards to 6, so I have 2 price cards lead. And in a single price race, that's a pretty big advantage. So he just plays his Legacy Energy, and I've game next turn. So how you see I've game is that we are. Let me bring up my Epic Pen. Okay, so we have game next turn because you can see I already have Diplin, right? So I can evolve Diplin. Diplin goes to the active. Basically, I can just get Secret Box. So I can use Boom Boom Groove, get a Secret Box, discard away 3 of the cards, play Festival Grounds, attach an energy, and then I can play Gladions for 180 damage for first hit, then second hit. So I've game. I don't even need 180 damage. I think 160 damage is enough. And then I do that. So I get the Secret Box. Yep, play Festival Grounds. In this case, I use the Pokepad for a Rapska, which is not really needed. So I will Secret Box away. Yep, so Gladions. Then just Gladions is enough. I just Boom Boom Groove for another Lily, as that would be my optimal play for if the game was to drag on to Lily, so that I can draw 8 cards. So I can draw 6 cards for next turn. So 160, taking out the one that active, and then he has to promote another one, and I knock that out. So he has no bench, and we win. So we only take 1 prize cards, but he has no bench Pokemon, so we win this match. Okay, then for our third match, so now we are at 69 elo. And we play our third match. Third match is also pretty interesting. We are versus against Mega Excadrill. So Mega Excadrill is another pretty meta deck now. Pretty strong deck in the meta right now because, well, it is a meta deck that is pretty meta. Right, pun intended. So, funny, right? Metal deck that's pretty meta. So anyway, Mega Excadrill is pretty strong, and it was surprisingly difficult to beat it because the Mega Excadrill has a resistance to grass, so he has minus 30 damage per hit. And that actually is pretty significant because I wasn't really prepared for that resistance. So I get a pretty good turn 1. I was going first. You can see my board is well set up by turn 1. A Goldeen in the active to trigger like Festival Lead and Boom Boom Groove on turn 2. I already have my Pokepad, so I get my Tawakis, my Diplins. Well, how many? I started with what, 2 Body Puffins and 2 Pokepads, right? So it's pretty good, as well as the Diplin as well. Yeah, so I double Body Puffin, double Pokepads, and 1 Diplin. Yeah, so my board is entirely set up by turn 1. So I attach an energy and then I pass because I can't attack on turn 1. So I just wait to see what he will do. In theory, he can use Call for Family on turn 1, but you have to sacrifice his Drillbur. He manages to get his Precious Trolley turn 1, sets out his board. He uses Genesect Metallic Signal to get Matangs. Okay, so I pretty good lead. I'm gonna Boom Boom Groove, gonna get Applin, set up for more Tawakis. In this case, I didn't have enough Tawakis to get the pieces I wanted because I needed to get Festival Grounds, which I got with my last Boom Boom Groove. Because I only had one Tawaki, so I needed to Boom Boom for this, and this to Boom Boom for this, and then this to Boom Boom for this. So I didn't have enough Tawakis evolved in turn 2 in order to get the pieces I needed. I needed an air balloon to retreat this, so I need air balloon, so which I didn't get. I needed the festival rounds, so I did 2 of that. And then, so I needed at least 2 Boom Boom Grooves in order for me to attack for 200 damage for 2 hits. So, yeah, it was not enough. So I decided to just pass. And I was waiting for him to evolve his Mega Excadrill because I wanted to take out the Mega Excadrill for 3 prizes with like a Gladion Secret Box. But what was surprising was that my Brave Bangle got discarded. So we'll take a look here. So he gets Lilies for 8 cards, and then he's lucky enough to get... Well, he's not really lucky. He uses Metallic Signal to get his Mega Excadrills, 2 of them actually. And then he has the Undermine ability, which does 90 damage, so he will knock out my Goldeen, plus it mills away, discards 2 cards from the top of my deck. So he uses Undermine, and you see he discards away my Brave Bangle. And this is going to be crucial. It makes this game really difficult because it turns out I priced my second Brave Bangle. So in order to knock out Mega Excadrill, right? If we go to here, and let's just take a look at... Okay. Let's just take a look at Mega Excadrill. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Mega Excadrill has Undermine, which discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and it has a resistance of -30 to grass, right? So for 340 health, it would seem like, well, in theory, Festival League can reach that pretty easily with Gladions, right? So if you have a bench of like 100 damage, then your Gladion adds 80, then that's 180, correct? So 180 multiplied by 2 would be equals to 360 damage. So that would knock out the Mega Excadrill normally, right? But with the resistance, it's not as easy. So the math would work out like this. Because the resistance applies -30 per hit, then with Festival Lead, you have to hit twice. So that means each hit we have to -30. So in 2 hits, we have to -60. So in this case, if it's 360 damage, you have to minus away 60 damage. So in the end, the Gladions with Festival League combo only does 300 damage. So in order to get enough damage to knock it out, we have to add a Brave Bangle. So the Brave Bangle will add 30 per hit. So it results in adding 60 over 2 hits. So with Brave Bangle, Brave Bangle and Gladions, we can knock out the Mega Excadrill in 1 turn. But without the Brave Bangle, we cannot. We can only do 300 damage max. Okay, let's go back to the video. So I wasn't really doing the math in this particular game. And I was like, I should be able to, right? Let me get my Secret Box and Gladions. I thought I had enough. I forgot about the resistance in grass. And then I proceeded to... Did I even fill out my bench? Okay, I evolved the other Applin. Thinking whether to use Secret Ash. Then I Secret Box it away for Gladions. I should have filled out my bench here with another Buddy Poffin in hindsight. Yeah. So in hindsight, I should have set up my bench a bit better. So that was a misplay there. Should have taken a Buddy Poffin with the Secret Box. In this case, I should take a Lily, I believe. Yeah, so I took another energy, which is fine as well. So in the end, I was quite surprised I was only doing 130 damage. Because with basically I was expected to do 100 and wait, it's 80 plus 80, right? So I didn't do the math. 80 plus 80 is 160. That also equals to 320, which is not enough to knock this out. So I didn't do the math properly. Yeah, I wouldn't have knocked out. Even if without the resistance, I wouldn't have knocked out anyway, because I actually needed a full bench. So yeah, I wasn't doing the math. So I was like, oh, I was only doing 130 damage, so that's not enough. So it's his turn. Yeah, I was looking at the breakdown and the damage here. So I was looking at this, like, how can I do so little damage? So I was like, oh, there's resistance. Okay, then yeah, that sucks. He patrols for Jumbo Ice Cream, so he heals up his Mega Excadrill. And yeah, significant again because, yeah. So he undermines, he knocks out my Diplin. So in this case, I am in trouble. So I think I boom boom for. What did I boom boom for? A Night Stretcher to Night Stretcher back my Applin. Oh, because I noticed when I was going through my list that I priced two of my Applins. So I will need to knock out his 3 prizes here in order to get access to more attackers. So I use the Night Stretcher early to retrieve one of my Applins. Then I fill up my bench with another Goldeen. Yeah, so I took a Lilies for 6 cards, I believe. Oh, I still have 8 cards. Okay, because I still have 6 prize cards. So Lily for 8. Then we can attach the energy, bug catching. The Rella and Rap Score is not useful in this matchup because the Mega Excadrill deck doesn't do any spread damage. And you can see it's not enough. So let's backtrack just a bit, right? You can see that I only do 70 damage with a full bench because it is 100 minus 30 of resistance, that's 70. So 70 damage times 2, that's only 140 damage. So 180 plus 140, we only do 320. So he has 20 hit points remaining. So the Mega Excadrill doesn't die. So in hindsight, that Jumbo Ice Cream by him was actually a pretty big deal. Yeah, because without Brave Bengal, which my one Brave Bengal was discarded by his Undermine, the other Brave Bengal is in the prizes, I cannot knock out this Mega Excadrill in this turn as well. So it's pretty significant. That was a pretty good Jumbo Ice Cream on his part. Well played on his part. Okay, so his Mega Excadrill survives again, but obviously he's not going to put it in the active. In theory, he should retreat it. Yeah, I should run a switch or AZ's Tranquility or something. I think AZ's Tranquility would be pretty good for the Excadrill deck because they can retreat into another Excadrill, and then at the same time they heal the Excadrill for 80 damage, the 80 health, the same as Jumbo Ice Cream. So it's basically a Jumbo Ice Cream and a switch card combined to one. In this case, I think he uses, what do he use? He uses a Kirin. Yeah, he uses a Kirin to switch. And he will use a Metagross, I believe. Because the beam doesn't knock out the Diplin, but the Metagross will. Metagross has Metallic Hammer. So he uses Metallic Hammer to knock out my Diplin. I wonder why he doesn't evolve his second Excadrill. Huh. Yep. So in this case, I promote my Applin because I already have a Diplin in my bench. As a Diplin in my hand, so I can evolve it instantly. So I'm gonna boss up his injured Mega Excadrill, gonna kill it this turn. But now I'm considering how to develop my board because I've run out of Applins. and I run out of night stretches. So I will need to. So I'm thinking I'm gambling on the fact that once I knock this out, I'll be able to get at least an Applin from my price cards. So that's why I took the Diplin in advance. I'm thinking whether to evolve to Seeking. Yeah, so I'm actually thinking whether to bench the Relor to fill up my bench to get more damage, or whether I should leave the bench space for my Applin if I do get an Applin from the prizes. So I forgot what was my decision here. So I decided to leave the bench blank. So I do have a Pokepad to evolve into a Seeking if I need. In hindsight, maybe I could have evolved it this turn. Oh wait, I don't have a Seeking. The Seeking was in my prizes. Okay. So yeah. So that makes sense for me not using the Pokepad. Okay. So even if I had a full bench, I would have did 70 damage, which was not enough to knock out the Metang anyway. So in hindsight, full bench or not doesn't really matter that much. So now I have because I managed to get my attackers, which is the Seeking and another Applin from the price cards. So now I have this empty bench spot to bench them. Okay, so he's setting up his Mega Excadrill, but he only has one Metang left. He doesn't have enough Metangs developed because he did evolve one of his Metang into a Metagross. So somehow he doesn't have enough Metangs. I don't know why. Maybe he priced some of his Metangs. He probably priced some of his Metangs early, like in turn one, because he did turn one Precious Trolley, right? Yeah, so he doesn't have enough Metangs. He doesn't get the energy acceleration. Recycles only 3 energy. Yeah, he metallic signals for his Metangs, but he priced 2 of his Beldums. So right now he could get the Metangs, but he doesn't get the Beldums. So I can actually I don't have game, right? I don't have game because I needed to knock out this Mega Excadrill in this turn for game. I have Gladions, but there's no way I can empty my hand because I have too many cards on hand. I have like more than 10 cards on hand. Do I have exactly 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I have 11 cards on hand. And I already used my secret box. I have 2 Ultra Balls, but 2 Ultra Balls can only discard up to 4 cards. Is not enough. So I cannot use Gladion this turn. Yeah, so I don't have game. So I think I decided to just evolve Seeking. And I was Boom Boom Grooving. This is my last energy. So if my last energy, I am actually debating whether should I put it on my backup Applin, or should I put it on my Seeking? Because I know that I have to knock out either the because if I can knock out the Metang this turn, right? So I can knock out the Genesect for the last turn for the last 2 prizes, or I could just knock out the Metagross for 3 prizes on the last turn. I didn't really do the math in this game itself, but I was thinking if I were to put the energy on the Applin, which evolves into Diplin, it goes against, I believe Genesect has resistance as well. So Genesect also has resistance. So let's do the math now in hindsight. So let's say I have 100 damage, right? If I can, assuming I can fill the bench, 100 damage from my Diplin per hit, multiply by 2, that's 200. But if I'm going against the Genesect, it has a resistance, so that's 70. Multiplied by 2, I'm only doing 140. And because I still don't have the Brave Bangle, I cannot boost this by 60 damage. So if I boost this by 60 damage, it's still not enough. Without the Gladion or a Kirin, I cannot knock out this. I would need to have a Kirin to boost my damage to I will need to have both a Kirin and a Brave Bangle in order to knock this out in one hit. But with the Seeking, there's no such issues. So if I'm using the Seeking, that's 60 damage. If I plus a Kirin, that's 30 damage, right? So that's 90. 90 times 2, it's only a 180. So that's still not enough. I will still need the Brave Bangle. So no matter what, I need the Brave Bangle in order to knock this out with either the Seeking or the Applin. But if I could Seeking for 60 and I could get Gladion, 60 plus 80, so that is equals to about 140. Yep, so 140, if we multiply by 2, that will be 280 damage. So that will be enough. The issue is that the Genesect is in the bench. So if I use a boss to boss out the Genesect, then I wouldn't be able to use Gladions. So there were decisions that I was debating between in my head. So here I took the air balloon, I attached it to the Diplin. Yeah, so I was debating between adding my last energy to either the Seeking or Diplin. Because take note that I don't run Lana Said, so there's no way for me to retrieve energy. In hindsight, I think I should include one Lana Said. I should have to cut something for Lana Said. But I am not sure what. Maybe one Lilies of something. I would hurt the consistency, but yeah, it might be a good choice. So I have to try it out. So yeah, because the Lana Set would help me retrieve some of that grass energy because I already used my one single night stretcher. Okay, so I just thin out my deck. I use lilies actually to make my hand a little bit smaller so that I can Gladions on my next turn. So I knock out the Matang, and I'm fortunate enough to get the Brave Bangle off the prizes. It was like I was explaining before, the Brave Bangle is super key here. Okay, and in the end, this 70 damage to the Excadrill was significant. So he's gonna knock out my Diplin here with Undermine. He patrols for red card. The red card actually helps me actually. So if you're playing Festival Lead with the Gladions in your deck, the red card actually significantly boosts your chance to be able to activate Gladions. Because I'm gonna get red carded down to 3 cards, right? So it red cards me down to 3 cards, and I was fortunate enough to get Gladion off the red card. But even if I don't get it, I can actually Boom Boom Groove for a Gladion anyway. Because he's gonna knock this out, and I'm just gonna promote my Seeking in order to activate Boom Boom Groove. Yeah, so in hindsight, actually the air balloon on the Diplin was wasted. Maybe I should air balloon on the Seeking instead, so that I have an option to switch the Seeking or the Diplin as my attackers. But the red card is good. So I promote the Seeking, and that is, I believe, enough. So I can just Ultra Ball away these 2 cards, use my Gladions, and that is game because that's 60 plus 80 damage. Take note, he has no resistance against water, so that's equals to 140. So 140 multiplied by 2, that's 280 damage, right? 280 damage plus the 70 existing, that is 350 in total. Am I right? Yeah, 350 damage in total, which is more than the health of Mega Excadrill, so we would knock it out. So here I'm just, I think, just doing some math in my head. And I think that it should be enough. I don't know the exact math. I just get a full bench instead, but it's not necessary. Then just go through the same motions. I don't need the Brave Bangle, but the Brave Bangle will give additional damage like 170. That's more than enough. 170 multiplied by 2, that's 340 anyway. Yep, so we knock out the Mega Excadrill for the last 3 prizes. Okay, so so all in all, we had a pretty good showing this time. So maybe let's go back to our deck list. Okay, so this is our deck list again. It's a slightly modified deck list whereby I took out the Rillaboom and I put in the Forest of Vitality instead, because I mentioned it's a slight modification in order to get the Relo and Rapsker up in a single turn whenever I need to protect my bench against effects of attacks such as Dragapult, or maybe the Matcha Spin from the Sinistra, the Hide and Sneak decks, because that was actually a deciding factor in, yeah, knocking me out in my locals last weekend. Okay, so that is that for this video, and we will see you guys in the next one.